Welcome to Intervision FM, and let's see, this is a face near bottom A. Okay, here we go. So I got to sit up and just be who I am right here. Welcome to Intervision FM. Sorry, you guys, I'm setting this stuff up. Remember, we have no budget, so this filming is pretty much low budget, or in some respect no budget, right? Okay, so Hollywood is calling, but the check hasn't cleared yet. This is Intervision FM. If this is your first time seeing this, my name is Johnny J. I'm the host of Intervision FM. We have a nonprofit called Intervision. IntervisionRecords.org is our website, and we just have different topics. And I was watching a Breakfast Club show today, and this guy from Nigeria. His name is Jidenna. So that name is spelled Jidenna. Jidenna. I guess he's a rapper. I need to check out some of his music. And so he was talking about something that I didn't know there was a name for. Polyanory relationship. That's how I say. So that's spelled Polyanory. All right, and I just put relationship on relationship so I know what it is. And the reason I want to talk about this because I know this exists, and I want to see what your views are. You can send us an email at info@intervisionfm.com. That's info@intervisionfm.com, and give us some feedback. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's Intervision FM as well. And put a like down there. Give us some feedback, or yeah, put a like down there. Okay. So I'm listening to this conversation, and I have a friend from Belize that I used to know a long time ago, and man, I'm so mad that I just lost track with them. I left the state, and he must think like, man, we were close as friends when we were there, and then you leave state, and then we didn't keep in touch, and as I understand, he probably lives in the same place that he lived when we were hanging out. We were like, I think I was 21 and he was 19 at the time, and his name was Marlon Haylock. So in California, if you know Marlon Haylock, who lived in the Los Angeles area, really good guy. He worked for the School for the Blind out there, and just a really good guy. But the reason I wanted to talk about this polyamor relationship kind of thing, because he used to tell me stories about his father, and that his father, and I guess just a lot of men that are like this, white, black. There's even a state here in America called Utah where men are like this. Where they have a pluralism of marriage, right? Where they can be married to more than one woman. And I guess in some African countries they do this, and some Muslim countries, if not all, do the same thing, where if you can afford it, you can have it. And my friend Marlon, he was telling me about his father, who may have had like 20 kids or so, right? And when he was talking about this, I said, okay, I mean, he's prolific, very prolific. And then I would listen to Marlon talk about, like, he would he would say, if you seen like a Chinese girl, he would say, now I wonder what I would look like in if she had a child by me, her, right? White, black, Indonesian. I mean, he just had this thought like, oh, how would my baby look at, if it was this one or this one, this one, this one. And I just, mentally, I guess I wasn't there. Thinking about, how would my, trying to just figure out one, was kind of interesting to me. And at the time, I wasn't into settling down and crazy stuff like that, because I was just 21. So Marlon would talk about these things, and I realized I didn't know, sort of like, and it was like, I think we were dating the same person at the same time, and I never really thought about it because I'd never been like a person that was jealous or just possessive, and you gotta be with me, and not in like in a lot of cases, I just wasn't that, and I hate that kind of person where possessiveness and all that kind of stuff where, and I didn't grow up in a family like that. My dad and mom, they were, but now as far as I know, but my grandfather, as I have heard, I don't know the truth. There's 26 other kids in that family, so you sort of hear these rumors, and then you hear about these things. I'm mixing it in with these guys that are sperm donors, right? And so if you go to that pool and you want your child to be intelligent, you happen to be white or whatever, or black or whatever, and you go to a pool and you say, okay, I want my kids to be intelligent, I want them to be a white male, white male, white female. You have a pool to draw from of these sperm donors, right? And so you can actually, go through that, and you can actually donate and become a part of that pool of donors, right? And who knows if you have a child over here, a child over there, a child over there, from one donor, right? And I've even heard like things about these guys would go and say, man, they wanted to they had this imaginary of just being just an infinite donor, and so anonymous and kind of weird, and weird in the sense that science is putting their hands in the things, and whenever science men put their hands into things, sometimes you have to wonder what is going to be the outcome of man putting his hand into things. So this word polyamory, yeah, and talked about by Jidenna. I was thinking about it because he said he was in a relationship, and the lady, and they knew they knew the guy. Both of them knew the guy, but he wasn't like really friends with the guy, but he knew of this guy, right? And he says, well, how could I tell her, not to do something that I'm out there doing? We're both single and whatever. And so, and I was listening to the host, the female host, and I don't remember her name exactly, but and sorry about that. Just don't remember all the names. And you could go to Breakfast Dove and get all the players and the names of the hosts of this thing. So she was saying, oh, well, what if you're with her, and then the other guy calls, and does she say like, hold on for a bit, hey baby, how you doing? Love you, and then she goes back into a conversation with you, and he says, he just couldn't, put himself in that position where he would, say, hey, I'm doing this, but you can't. But he couldn't get into the thing of like having like several women. He said it was easier for him to do the thing with like where there was him, and the other girl was bi, or other women, but another guy, that was difficult. Which I guess maybe for guys, it's easy to say, hey, another woman, can't compete. And I guess on one of his albums, he did a song called Bambi, which Prince did a song called Bambi, and I wonder if it's based on the same song as Prince's song Bambi, which was on his second album, the Prince album, with the blue album cover, and him having an afro and being, shirtless in this movie. So if you get a chance, go check out the song Bambi from Prince, and then Bambi from this artist Jidenna, yes. All right. So he said it was just easier, and he said, he says he looked at his grandfather, and his grandfather was married to seven women, and he said in one of the pictures, it was a picture of him, the grandfather, and the three of his wives, and he says you could look into their eyes and say, I could tell that they weren't happy about the situation. Now Charlemagne, now I do remember one of the names, Charlemagne the God, right, says, how can you say you looked into the picture's eyes and you could tell that, now you're just lying, right? Because, unless you talk to the people, and like I said, if you know anybody in these types of relationships, you got to really talk to them. Just don't look on the outside and just guess. I always get on people like they say, well, I don't know, but I guess. Why don't you just ask the person? Well, I don't know the person. Well, why don't you get to know the person, talk to the person, and find out what their real thoughts are, and instead of this behind the door talk, and you don't know, I don't know, and we're just guessing, just having a conversation about stuff we don't know. If I'm curious about somebody or someone, that's why I do these shows. That's why I started doing the show Intervision, Talkability, which was, I saw people on buses, and the kids would say, "Mom, how come he has a cane?" And the mother would say, "Shh, don't talk about it." And I said, "Why not?" So I decided to do a television show that I can have discussion with people with disabilities, visible disabilities as well as invisible disabilities, extreme disabilities, and talk to them and ask them the questions that I and others might be curious about. And I know, snowflake America now, everybody is always getting so offended. So you got to put aside your snowflake of being offended in this they like to call it a democracy, but I know we are in a republic attitude, and look at it. If you're just now joining us, you're watching Intervision FM. My name is Johnny J. I want you to send in your comments at info@intervisionfm.com, or you can call our phone number at 720-324-7278. That's 720-324-7278. And who knows, you might hear you might hear yourself on one of our radio shows, right? And so the topic is Jidenna, a singing artist, and that name is spelled, he's a rapper, right? From Nigeria. Jidenna, Jidenna. And he was on the Breakfast Club, and he was bringing this interesting topic of polyamory, and that was spelled Polyanory, right? So I was just kind of curious about this, because as he was talking, I said, well, it's an interesting topic. And like I said, I knew a guy in California when I lived out there, named Marlon, whose father was somewhere, and he was following in his father's footsteps, as far as like he didn't marry them. And another thing, because of what President Johnson did in 1964, when he said we're going to have a war on poverty, right? And he put in this Welfare Act, where it says, well, if the husband, if you don't have a husband, we're going to take care of you. If you have children, we're going to, you can now marry the government. And at the time, the black marriage rate was 22%. Were single parent families, and the wife, that was the black family, and the white family, it was 3%. And people said at the time that this was terrible. Now it's flipped. Now the unwed mothers is about 75%, unwed mothers 75%. So men, a lot of men in the black community have said, hey, you want to marry the government? Get at it. You know, I'm going to have a baby with you and tell you a bunch of lies saying I love you and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just going to leave and let the government take care of you. Which, if you're a taxpayer, the government is funded through us. And you know, I've been sitting back here thinking about this. How do we turn this polyamory philosophy around, where men go back to taking care of responsibility? And I guess now it's raised up to 24-25% in the white community. No, 30%. And so the same social issues are coming up in that community as well, as it is in the black community. And believe me, okay, I've been divorced and whatever, but I never shunned saying, oh, the government's going to take care of my kids. No, I brought the kids into this world. It's my responsibility. If I can't get along with her, or find a reason why I don't want to get along with the wife or with my ex-wife or whatever, it was my responsibility to financially take care of those kids. It was my responsibility to be the emotional, physical father in that, and not leave and go to another state. And I don't know if my kids really understand that I stayed in Colorado, and I had opportunities to go to other places and find DJ jobs and broadcasting jobs in other places. But I said no. Even if I had to work on phone calling jobs here, customer service, I'm going to stay in the state of Colorado, DJ whenever I can, because I want my kids to know me and not just be married to the government and say the government is the daddy. Now, for some reason, my kids decided, you know, and I took them to church, and we went to many weddings. And the Bible has a saying that raise your kids in the way they're supposed to go, and when they grow up, they will not depart from it. Well, I am hoping and praying that they will not. They will stop departing from those ways. Because I was kind of giving a picture, like, find somebody that you know, hey, I made a mistake. I didn't man up and stick with your mom, whatever. But God willing, maybe you can find a man that can man up and not say, hey, you know, I'm gonna get you pregnant and let the what is it called, the government take care of you, take care of your children, right? And so I have one daughter that she works and she supports her two kids, and then but you know, she got into a relationship where the guy, he was gonna do the flip. He says, "Wait, the government take care of the kids. If I mean, just get custody of the kids, and let me just find like some really whacked out girls, or girls who I think I could take advantage of." Which I got one baby by one crazy girl. You know, she's whacked out enough. I got control of this one. So then he figured, well, this girl has a blind father, so I can do the same thing to her, right? But thank God that she was a stronger person than the whack-out girl that he had the first job with, and she fought for custody, which, and I don't know, am I in her mother's case? Me and her mother, we decided to stay outside the court and work between us, communicate between us. Even though her husband at the time didn't like it that we were communicating, and he was acting stupid at the time, which was just, the male testosterone stupidness. I said, we are going to communicate. We don't need a court involved with our children. We brought them into this world, and we make the decisions of these children. Not Governor Polis government, not Mayor Hickel government, not Mayor Webb government, and not Governor Romer government. I'm going through the history, or even Governor Lamb. I'm just going back. I said, we are the father's mother, and whether we're together or not, we will make those decisions and not stick the courts in between our relationship. Unfortunately, that's not able to be done by a lot of people, so it is what it is. It is what it is, unfortunately. So you have these relationships, polyamory relationships, where and if you don't get the girl pregnant, okay, and hopefully it's not by the genocidal Marcus Zinger, who believed that the quickest way to destroy the black family is to have them commit genocide on themselves. And so she went to the black churches and to these weak black pastors, and maybe she flashed some breasts at them, or I don't know what she did to convince these black pastors to tell their parishioners that, hey, abortion is good, it's a good part of birth control, and everybody should be doing it, right? Or at least my congregation should be doing it, right? Maybe he didn't read in the book of Genesis, the book of Exodus, when the king says to the Israelite women, kill all the male boys as soon as they're born. Just take them, throw them in the water, kill them. And the Israelite women said, we're not gonna be down with that, king of Egypt. We're not down with killing the male boys. But somehow in America, black women, black boys, and it was part of the indoctrination in the schools where you just think about, and they give it the same fetus. You just think of it as a it's not real. It's not even a baby. But now that we have science, we know that the heartbeat starts very soon in that development of that what you lovers of abortions call fetus, and this one doctor, he says when he would do an abortion, and he did several hundreds of them before he realized, when I have to cut off the arm, stick the enemy in there, cut off the arm, count 2 arms, cut off the legs, 2 legs, torso, cut off the torso, then head, and then the blob that was forming into the brain. He had to account for all those pieces and make sure that he had all the pieces outside of the body as he commits this genocide, right? But in an indoctrination of our schools, public schools that are democratically ran by liberal, genocidal maniacs. You're taught, and now Polish wants to put sexual education in schools, where even at younger ages, they're going to be taught how to genocide and even more babies, because we got to make sure, and I think that's the main reason why they want to bring in this other population, illegals, and make them legal, because they realize that the black population is leveling out. We're not having more babies. The white population, they're leveling out. They're not having a lot of babies. Hispanics are still like rolling strong there, because they're not listening to that BS. Their family structure is strong enough where their clan is saying, hey, we're not gonna go down with this Margaret Zinger attitude, since she hated the black and brown people anyway, right? And then we hit the 1973 when they really legalized it, everything, and it just went crazy, where it's like 1 million babies killed a year. A majority of those are black babies, because the black women are just really vigorously say, hey, five abortions, all right with me, you know. And not only the black, but I'm just, you know, I'm just, since I know the history of this game, that this democracy that the Democrats call it, but the Republicans call it a republic, and that's what we are. We are one nation under the republic. Okay, one nation under God, supposedly, but we're getting further and further away from that. And listen, this is just my opinions. You can have your opinions. Don't be a snowflake and say, oh, you can't say that, you can't say that. Get your own opinions. Say, you know, part of public access TV is being able to, and YouTube, well, I don't know about YouTube, but public access is being able to say your mind. Hey, we're gonna close this out. This is Intervision FM. Thank you guys for watching this. Intervision FM, you can contact us, info at intervisionfm.com, 720-324-7278. I know I said some things that make you mad. Thank God somebody's getting mad, right? So let me get my earplugs in there so I can turn the camera off. God bless you. See you next week. Give us some feedback. Subscribe to this channel. Like this, and we'll go from there, right? God bless. See you the next time.